Alright, so coming back into it, Resident Evil 3 Remake. This game was pretty panned whenever it first came out. A lot of people had issues with it, in particular because of length. Not really a whole lot of gameplay-wise or anything, but people really didn't like that they cut out certain sections, mainly additional Nemesis mutations, as well as the clock tower section, a few other things, but it was mainly on length. The game isn't bad by any means, but I would agree that it is a little short. But it doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, it could have used a little bit more, like fat flavoring added to it, that sort of stuff, but it wasn't really that bad of a game, so I do enjoy it, and I did play through all of it. It was really short, but I don't think it's bad. So we're going to be playing through it again, pretty much just on standard, because, well, I'm not as well versed in Resident Evil 3 Make as I am with, say, Resident Evil 4 Remake. And Resident Evil 2 Remake will probably be even worse, because I have not played that one since about 2019. So it's been a while since I've played most of these. And Resident Evil 3 Remake, a lot of people either love or hate Nemesis's redesign. I'm personally on the side where I think he looks kind of goofy. I don't really care for the nose thing. I think it's kind of weird, but to each their own. I mean, it's still Nemesis, just looks a little off, so to speak. I think they tried to make it where, well, at least this is hearsay, but I think the reasoning was to try and humanize him, to make him feel like he was a man that became a monster, but I don't know. I think the whole nose thing just looks goofy as shit. But that's just my opinion. I still like Nemesis. He's probably one of my favorite, boss pursuer monsters. But he does look a little strange with the nose. I get it. They wanted to add a flair to him. They wanted to do certain things, but I don't think just giving him a nose was the move. They could have probably just lost that. To me it kind of feels like he could have, well, I guess the real thing would be, it feels like the Umbrella Scientists would be like, why in the hell does he need this kind of thing? I don't know. Unless the nose is actually functional, which I don't think it would be. That'd be kind of weird, considering it's just haphazardly hanging off the side of his face. I don't know, maybe he has super smell or something, but I'm not too particularly versed with the NE alpha parasite, which is what Nemesis has, which actually, if some people didn't know that Nemesis was actually the first introduction of parasites into mainstream Resident Evil. At least for the most part, he was the main monster with it. Because Nemesis has a parasite inside of him that makes him super smart, quote-unquote, compared to other bioweapons. Which is what Umbrella wanted for him, and that's why he is specifically super smart and able to track down S.T.A.R.S members.
3 more days, then I can kiss this town goodbye.
And I do like, in particular, how they make Jill appear disheveled, like she's been having a rough fucking time, as you can tell. She even says in one of her notes around here, having trouble sleeping, having difficulties eating. She has a literal insane conspiracy board with shit all over it. And here we have Jill's report. September 26, 1998. It's already been 2 months since the mess with Umbrella. Thanks to the suspension, investigations haven't progressed exactly as I'd hoped. Perhaps this written record of what I've found will prove to be my final duty as a S.T.A.R.S officer. I can only hope that it leads to the truth. The T-virus. Those infected by this virus seem to become literal zombies. It appears to be communicable via several different avenues outlined below. Bite from an infected individual, allowing the mixing of bodily fluids, contact with crows which have eaten infected carrion, and due to the strength of the virus, airborne infection cannot be discounted. Which Forrest was actually the crows infected him, and Jill's seen a bunch of people get bites, so it does make sense that she would have those two in her report. It should be noted that those who survived the incident have not yet developed symptoms. It's unclear whether this is because the virus has a long incubation period or because we just happen to be resistant to the infection. We ought to remain vigilant even after this investigation period ends. As for me, aside from my minor difficulty sleeping, I seem to be in fine shape. Still, I shouldn't get too hopeful. After all, this could just be an extended incubation. So, that's kind of explaining Jill's whole nightmares. She doesn't know if she's literally just a ticking time bomb or not, which is pretty fucking scary. Umbrella, pharmaceutical company, industrial leader in market share, focuses on military weapons development while maintaining cover as a pharmaceutical company, also secretly developing bioweapons. T-virus outbreak at Arklay Mountains Research Facility predicated the Mansion incident. Conspiring with Raccoon City leadership, large donations to Mayor Warren's office effectively controls the city. Which, yeah, you can see all of her connections here. Actually, this is the parasite right here, the Nemesis Alpha. She's got a net up here. She's got, I think, iron somewhere on the board. I think Irons is somewhere around, but yeah, Jill's been really studying who the hell is exactly trying to kill her. Unsealed envelope. They've got me pinned down at home. Guys across the street are watching me from their window 24/7. Are they Irons men? Umbrellas? I don't know, and there's no real difference anyway. I know what they're trying to do. They want to wear me down, torment me into compliance, and it's working. I'm barely eating, barely sleeping. I'm going crazy. I feel like the living dead. But I won't let them win. I have to get out of the city and find a way to make them accountable. They'll send someone to silence me, of course. If you hear that I've been killed, or whatever, it is they, or whatever it is they do to people like me, you must pick up the investigation where I left off. I've enclosed my files. They'll tell you everything you need to know, as long as this package isn't intercepted. I'll be moving out at night, 5 days. Wish me luck. So Jill was planning on getting out relatively shortly, as it would seem. And message from a colleague to Jill Valentine. Hey Hotshot, how you holding up? I still can't believe Irons suspended you. It's such bullshit. He ought to pin a medal on you for making it out of that hellhole back in July. Of course, you're going to poke around and ask questions about it. I hope you're not mad at me for keeping my head down. Everything's been happening so fast. S.T.A.R.S was the pride of the force. When the chief disbanded us out of nowhere, I thought for sure I was going to lose my job. Word has it you're planning to leave Raccoon City. I figured you would take the suspension lying down. Just promise to watch your back. Umbrella won't sit by while you try to dismantle their business. Take care, Jill. Brad Vickers. S.T.A.R.S. Alpha Team, now and forever. P.S. Had to slip this message to the pizza guy to avoid detection. Enjoy the extra-large Mega Meat Supreme. It's on me and the guys. So yeah, they also have, like, she can't finish meals. She just absolutely is a wreck. Like, probably drinking problems. Can't seem to focus on anything. Conspiracy theorist out the ass over there. Like, she is definitely not having a good time. She's got a lot of beer. Like, a lot of beer. And milk. So, yeah, Jill's not been having a good time. And I do find it kind of interesting that they actually touch on more of the psychological in these remakes. Like Jill and Leon in 3 and 4. Because, I mean, I get it. People are probably going to go absolutely fucking bonkers surviving what these people survive. And I'm glad that they're starting to touch on that more and more. Like, they did it a bit in 5, but that's just because Chris kind of lost his partner. And then in 6, Chris also had, like, this whole depression phase. But again, that was just kind of because he lost his partner.
Who could that be?
Well, Platoon. So, I do like how people are actually starting to react to the actual viruses and stuff. Like, they're scared shitless that they're going to be zombies. Like, they don't want to die. Like, that's pretty much how people are probably going to react in these situations, is they're going to shit their pants. Like, am I infected? That sort of thing. Which, Capcom did kind of retroactively change the story to where the T-virus was like an absolute, to where people are resistant to it. It's like a 10% resistance to the virus or something like that. Like a very small population of people. But even still, that's why they make bioweapons like the hunters and stuff to hunt down the remaining people.
What the hell is that thing?
Which, yeah, basically, I mean, that's what their whole deal is. That's why Nemesis is after us too. Besides just covering up their whole shitty ordeal in the Arclay Mansion. I mean, Nemesis is chasing down S.T.A.R.S members for that, but Capcom also has, or not Capcom, Umbrella. Yeah, make Capcom sound like they're trying to murder everyone, but Umbrella also has, like, other monsters in case of resistance levels of other people. So, it is rather interesting that they plan accordingly for stuff like that, but also at the same time they don't really plan that well. Umbrella's a pretty dog shit statistic company for what they try and do with what they have. I mean, yeah, they're an evil corporation, but at the same time they don't really think that well in advance for what their shit is doing. They've been around since, like, the 60s, I think it was, with Oswell, Spencer, and James Marcus and them. And then there was also the Ashfords. But it is kind of funny that they just don't really put a whole lot of thought into shit. Like, they basically just don't think about it much at all. And I do like the rendition of Nemesis theme going on as well. Like, you can kind of catch hints of it in the background. But yeah, as for Nemesis, he's made with the parasite, but the zombies, the T-virus and the G-virus and all that, they actually have names in particular. The T-virus being the Tyrant virus, which actually helped make the Tyrants. But the T-virus is also an offshoot of the progenitor virus, and so is the G-virus, or the Golgotha virus. At least I think that's how it's pronounced, Golgotha, something like that. But they're offshoots of the progenitor virus, which is actually what Wesker has, which either makes people superhuman or mutates the shit out of them, something like that. Wesker ended up being like some weirdly genetically unique person along with his son, Jake. So they have a particular immunity to viruses like that. And then we have Sigourney's tea and coffee, or a cafe, which is probably a reference to Sigourney Weaver. And I also like the detail of Nemesis's pod, where he definitely crashed down and came through our building and tried to murder us. I always liked that little touch. But yeah, Wesker ends up having a specific genetic immunity of some kind that's never really fully detailed or stated. But his son also carries it, which makes him an extremely good antibody kind of person. Also a reference to Morgan from Darkstalkers on the board there that Brad throws. It's a nice little Easter egg. Another Capcom game, Darkstalkers. I don't think they've made one since like early 2000s at least. Kinda sad. I like those fighting games. If I had to pick a favorite character from it, probably be like BB Hood, because she's a crazy, like, I don't know if she's actually a little girl, but she's like a crazy little shithead Red Riding Hood that summons like hunters and stuff. If anybody's ever played Marvel vs. Capcom, she's in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and is pretty funny. Really hard to hit character because she's so fucking tiny.
Sorry.
But yeah, Brad, Also feel kind of bad for him. I know he's a shithead that left us in the first one, and just kind of did his own thing, but I do still feel for the guy. I get it, his whole deal is being a giant candy-ass pansy, but that doesn't mean he's irredeemable. Yeah, he left us in the first one, but at the same time, he did come back. Like, he didn't just leave. He is the reason that we were able to kill the Super Tyrant at the end. Because, well, he threw us the rocket launcher, and he also got us out of the mansion. So, he did leave us, but he also came back. So he may be a candy ass, but at least he's a nice enough candy ass to save us. And this is Dario Rosso from the original one. Which, Dario in the original lost his daughter to the infected, but in this one I don't think he says the line.
And yeah, right. You just want to steal my safe house. Get your own, Missy.
Missy? Would you please calm
But yeah,
down?
in the original he speaks on losing his daughter and then locks himself into a trailer. But in this one, I'm pretty sure he's just a dick.
Sir,
And that's about it.
this is your last chance. No one else is coming for you.
I'm not going anywhere. I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters.
But that is actually a line from the original, in which he did say the exact same thing. I'd rather starve to death than be... Huh, never noticed that dog. But he did say in the original Resident Evil 3 that he'd rather starve to death than be eaten by one of those undead monsters, so... It's a nice little callback and homage. Again, the original Resident Evil is another one that I haven't played in quite a while, but you do still remember little bits and bobs that are kind of fun. This part, pretty decently easy, just walk around, hit the button. And I did play up to where we escaped Nemesis, but after that, I don't really remember a whole lot with the Raccoon City streets and anything like that, so we're going to be playing blind from that point on. I usually like to test settings, so I usually play games a little bit, at least for the intro sequences, to see how it goes. Especially in this game, because for some reason the anti-aliasing in the Resident Evil 3 and 2 remakes, I don't know why, it's just really weird. I don't know if it's like a engine thing that they have going with their RE engine, or what, but it just makes everything look pixely if you don't set stuff up right. So I like tried my damnedest to make it look not super pixely. And I don't really care a whole lot about graphics, but I know other people do, so I at least try and make them look as decent as I can.
Start, damn it.
Like, I can play pretty much anything and not be too upset. But I know some people also like to make things look good. I mean, I appreciate whenever things look good, but it's not like an end-all be-all for myself. But yeah, just stating out that the RE engine for some weird reason just makes things super pixely, and I have no idea really what's going on with it. If it's just like some anti-aliasing thing or what. But how I fix it, I basically had to turn off super fidelity and then crank the rendering myself up to 150%. Which are all menu options, so it's really nice that they do give you those options. But that fixed a lot of the pixely issues. I don't know exactly what super fidelity is doing, but it just makes things really weird, like everything's Swiss cheesed and full of holes. Like super pixely, really ugly looking in all honesty. And then we got Carlos with the bazooka, which is like my favorite design for a missile launcher. It's just so boxy and weird looking. It's just fun.
Get you someplace safe.
I am really, really happy with the Carlos redesign too. Like, he's got the messy mop head. I just think it looks cool.
I think
Like,
we're in the clear.
he's got that really, really wild hair.
We've been bringing survivors here.
Although they did give you the option to use his, like,
Guys have converted some subway cars
slick,
into a shelter.
clean hair in this as well, but it just looks so fucking goofy that I can't ever use it.
I'm fine.
Personal space. Okay, I get it. Let's go.
I'm also completely okay with Carlos's personality too. He isn't just like immediately Casanova. Like, you can get hints that he's probably that way a little bit, but he's not overt.
I've never seen anything like it.
Like, he's got a mission first,
Knows what it wants and won't stop till it
like
gets
this line.
Don't you like that in a man?
No thanks. He's all yours.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of cheesy romance to him. He's not overt, like, all the foxy ladies love Carlos and stuff like that.
Are you fucking kidding me? You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
Whoa.
He also doesn't really have an accent, but he does
You don't
get
have to
one,
trust me, but I'm
like,
going to the
in the
shelter.
original, and then loses it, like, halfway through, which was odd.
Come on.
Never really got that. Also, Carlos suffers from that one crippling trait that most games suffer from, where he moves slower than your slow, or he moves faster than your slowest, but slower than your fastest, like in that hallway. But then he hauls ass, so he's faster than your fastest whenever he is running to the subway car. So it's just kind of goofy.
Carlos, you didn't even think to ask fine young lady her name?
Also, just kind of ignore all the people in the background being kind of blurry because, yeah. They were super pixely, I fixed them as much as I could, but that was also a bitch.
It's Jill.
Nice to meet you.
The scene always came off as kind of weird to me. I do like Mikhail and how he actually got a little bit more to him. And there's supposed to be like a tension between Jill and him, but her face doesn't really express it whenever they first meet. Like, it's almost like she's just politely correcting him, like, my name is Jill. We're friends, you know. You know my name. Like, she doesn't look displeased on the first line. But you can tell that she obviously doesn't trust him in the way that she acts. I don't know, it's just that first line just comes off as weird.
Yes. Well, we are doing all we can. If we can get this
I do like Mikhail, though, and how he actually got more than just being a comatose soldier for most of the game, except for one part. I'm speaking about the original, of course, but
Alright.
he actually gets to do something in this one.
But I am on their side. Not yours.
I mean, it's kind of basically the same thing, which is sitting on the subway car, but, you know. At least he gets lines, I guess, that aren't nightmare fuel lines.
I know what a radio is.
First things first.
I would say Jill is being overtly hostile,
You'll find supplies there.
but let's be real.
Alright.
She definitely does not trust Umbrella.
Shit, Captain. They really took a chunk out of you.
Nothing that I will miss.
Okay, let's see. UBCS Ammo Crafting Guide. UBCS Ammunition Crafting Guide. On the battlefield, if you run out of ammo, your gun's about as useful as a wet fart. Want to stay alive out there? Then get these basic formulas into your skull. Handgun ammo, 2 gunpowders. Shotgun shells, gunpowder and high-grade gunpowder. Mag ammo, 2 high-grade gunpowders. Once you're stocked up, get out there and join the party. Let's give those dead motherfuckers something to eat. Just make sure you don't become dessert. Always fun. I do like the little posters and stuff they got going on too, like Astro Crunch and Big E. And then there's like an M&M's reference on the subway with the 2 dinosaurs. It also kind of looks like a Bubble Bobble reference. So I don't remember who made Bubble Bobble, if it's Capcom or somebody else. But, yeah. They killed him! Tabloid front page. The Cannibal Murders, a complete digest. That's actually kind of a sick but funny title. In the gray of the morning, September 25th, a frantic caller telephoned the RPD to report an assault. A man described as disheveled like a vagrant was attacking a passerby north of the Lambs Museum of Art. The responding officers discovered the mutilated corpse of a woman by some nearby dumpsters. Dozens of bite marks covered her body and she had been dismembered, suggesting she had been eaten. The third known incident of its kind to occur in Raccoon City this month. So, who done it? Who's been munching on man steak? We here at the News Comment have a gnawing feeling that the so-called cannibal disease patients Spencer Memorial have been providing free treatment for since August might not be settling for just cafeteria food. Our reporters have infiltrated Spencer Memorial, asked the tough questions, and come back with horror stories that will make your stomach roil. Turn the page for the scoop. And then we don't even get to turn the page.
Jill? It's me again. You topside yet?
Working on it. So what's the plan?
The old tanks got me.
Sudden death bowling.
Get the subway infrastructure back online.
That sounds like a movie just stupid enough that I'd watch it.
Power. I'll navigate you to the substation once you hit the main road.
Copy that. Let's do this fast.
So we have the classic ye old green herbs, gunpowders, all that stuff. Might as well reload. And we get a red herb. Okay. So before we start combining things, here's also this. UBCS Herb Field Manual. There's no place in the UBCS for pipsqueaks who crawl back to base every single time they get scratched up. You want somebody to kiss your boo-boo? Go someplace else. Here in the big leagues, we mix our own meds, so get these recipes memorized. High potency mixture, 2 green herbs. Maximum potency mixture, green herb plus red herb or 3 green herbs. First aid spray, can't make these yourself? Grab them if you see them. That should do it. Now let's get this done and then go grab a beer. Yeah. Man. Manly. Okay, so we can go ahead and put these in here for the moment. And combining items. So we'll go ahead and do this. So we have a full heal. So now we have our pistol and a full heal. Well, pistol, knife, and a full heal. Meanwhile, everyone's running for their lives, including that guy. But nobody seems to ever be coming towards the safe place, which is weird. And we do have the dodge in this one. So if this guy, like, lunges at us... Well... if I time it better. But yeah, we do have the action dodge in this one. Originally in Resident Evil 3, that was also a thing where you could dodge past potential zombies and other stuff by timing. Well, I'll get it someday, I swear. But if you could dodge or time things in specific just right, then you can actually just roll past them without having to really worry. So if we do get our timing better, and not completely shit, we can actually roll around danger. And if we get a perfect dodge, then we get times for a counterattack.
Alley that's on fire?
Maybe. Surely a tall drink of water like yourself can put out a few flames.
Fuck you.
God, I love to hate him. Carlos is just stupid. So we have our fire hydrant, we need to go get a hose part. So we're gonna have to work on that. And also, these zombies are pretty damn strong apparently. But, as anybody that has ever played a video game ever knows, we have a red barrel right next to us, so you can probably guess what'll happen if we shoot it. Which is to say that. Okay, so now, we're just gonna work our way to get to a fire hose, which we need. And maybe... I still can't dodge worth a shit. I'll get the timing eventually. I'm too used to parrying at this point from Resident Evil 4, so I just kind of keep taking everything in the face, but eventually, maybe, I'll get better. Or we'll just get enough healing to live through everything anyways. Just deal with that. It's pretty nice that they also did give us back our explosive barrels from Resident Evil 3. Because, well, it's just nice to have the option. The real complaint that I have with this part, though, is just I would have liked to see more of Raccoon City. Like, they had the opportunity to really, really give us a shot at it, but they just didn't, really. Drugstore Owner's Journal. August 24th. This new hair tonic from Umbrella is just flying off the shelves. The stuff they make always works wonders, so it's no surprise. I was counting on this and ordered a huge shipment. My instincts are paying off, literally. I just know sales will continue to rise as word gets out. That said, the string of violent incidents on the news has me worried. Maybe I ought to invest in a good safe to hold all the cash that's rolling in. September 2nd, the new safe is just perfect. Nobody knows the code, not even my wife. It's a secret between me and my beautiful Aqua Cure queen, and she'd never give it up for the thief. So, like the original, you had Aqua Cure, there was Safe Sprint, and I think there was a third one. I forget off the top of my head, but there were a few different things. But that guy's gone. But we'll need to remember Aqua Cure for getting that. To open the safe anyways. So the drugstore is right here. And then there's this asshole on the ground. Who is kind of weirdly not just stomped out the second that he tried it. I don't know. So 937 is the code. Alright, let's give this a shot. Nope, I'm still bad at timing it. I swear I'll get it eventually. I don't really think I want that currently, so we'll do this. And then just kind of combine these. And get out of here before that guy gets a chance to get up. So, 937. Gotta go put that in before we forget it. But yeah, in the original, it was like, you flip on a TV remote, and then the TV comes on, gives you some other stuff to use. So 937 ended up working. Go ahead and grab our dot sight for our handgun. Which also doesn't increase its size, so it's really nice to just have. And then Kite Bros Railway. We do need to find our fire hose, though. And never trust them until they actually just fully splay out. It's my usual goal for it anyways. Yeah, they really help with the barrels here. Don't have any bolt cutters, so... Oh hey, that guy was just kind of chasing us the whole time. But yeah, we can go ahead inside the rail station here. And go and see if we can find some stuff. Just get that guy out of the way. And here's our hose. Now we got Subway Employees Memo. Violence getting worse and worse these past few days. Got a shotgun for when it's hit a breaking point. Locking it up in the gun rack. That should keep it safe from any would-be looters while I go out and try and find some more shells. If things go south, cut the chain and bust out that sucker. I pray we all make it out alive. But we don't have any bolt cutters, so... And for some reason, they had a hand grenade in here. That's a little strange for a train station thing, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta make do with things, I guess. Or sometimes the damn people really piss you off, and you just need to blow them the fuck up. Alright, so we have the fire hose, so now we can go back, do all that. And again, like I said, I kind of wish there was more to the whole city section of this one. Like, basically if they could make like a Resident Evil Outbreak sort of thing, like that sort of scale. Actually, I never really got to play Resident Evil Outbreak online, which was really sad, because back in the PS2 days, I still had very shitty internet, and didn't really have online for PlayStation 2 as an option, so I never really got to play. But I do kind of wish they would remake Outbreak, just to bring that back. I do know that there's the, like, emulator route and private servers and all that, but I'd kind of like the magic of nobody really knowing what the fuck they're doing, which is just a lot more fun, in my opinion. Like, that's kind of the whole magic of it, is just when people don't know what the hell they're doing in, like, games and stuff. I just find that a lot more fun. Like, whenever people are all just kind of figuring things out together, doing all of this stuff, like, once a game is optimized to me, or at least figured out enough to where people kind of just do their own things, or expect other people to follow the things that they do because it's the most optimal way, that's whenever a game kind of dies.
Come on, don't look at me like that,
Which makes me really sad.
No, wait,
Like, there's also the problem of whenever games first come out. Also, Nikolai is fucking cold in this one, and I love it. But there's also the problem whenever games first come out, is they're at their most expensive, but that's also whenever it's the most magical point, so it's kind of like a trade-off for me personally. I like to wait, but I don't like to wait because then everyone figures out the game by the time you get it, like a year or two later, so it kind of sucks, but that's just kind of how it works. Also a nice little Stagla reference up there. Stagla was actually, I believe, the gas station in the first one that ended up going boom, so it's pretty neat having that. UBCS suicide note. September 28th. The Middle East, Eastern Europe, East Africa. I thought I knew what hell was. Figured I'd never crack, no matter what was thrown at me. But this job? This one was supposed to be easy. Quick wage. I'd earned it. It all happened at once. There were 30 guys in our squad, all well armed with state-of-the-art assault rifles, and yet we were wiped out in less than 48 hours. I've been through enough shit to know it only ever gets worse. And if that was just the beginning, maybe I'm a coward. I don't care. This is the only way out I have left. I just hope my body doesn't get back up after I pull the trigger. So, yeah. They go a bit more into the psychological, because, yeah, it'd be really fucked up. Electrician's notice. Public use generators provided by Raccoon City's Electricians Guild. Due to the ongoing power outage, the guild has decided to provisionally place a number of electric generators throughout the city. Everyone is welcome to use them, but remember, these generators are running high voltage currents. If one were to be struck or impacted by gunfire, anyone standing nearby could get electrocuted. Handwritten addition. You got that? If you see a generator spitting sparks, don't go near it. Don't do anything stupid. Safety first, as the saying goes. If we make it through this mess, I'll have plenty of busted generators for sale at bargain prices. Your neighborhood electrician, Sam. So basically just our fair little warning that we can do this. So yeah, if doggies happen to get near generators, it really benefits us because we can just shoot the generators. And these sad boys behind the fence can't really do much. I don't think there was anything really down here. Oh, there's a box. So, yeah. There was something down there. We can go ahead and grab that. Again, it's been a long while since I've actually played this game, so remembering things... Oh nice, got a crit. That's always welcome. But yeah, remembering things, not exactly my strongest suit, even in the games that I've currently been playing, so remembering things in a game I haven't played in a few years, definitely not my strong suit. And don't trust them until they actually flopped. There we go. Now I feel better. And we don't have a lockpick, so we can't be the master of unlocking yet. But yeah, never ever trust the zombies whenever they've only fallen once, essentially. They're usually faking it, like assholes. Oh, nice little hip pouch too. That's good. 2 more spaces. And we don't have a shotgun yet, so we can't really do that. Don't really need gunpowders that much. Do have a note. Fax from Substation Chief. To all employees, in response to the violent outbreaks across the city, we have implemented an intentional power outage. Once the situation has been brought under control, please activate the 4 breakers ASAP. Once that's done, turn on the main power switch in the control room to reactivate the power grid. So we gotta go find the 4 breakers, turn them on. Here, I do, in particular, remember this part, because this is probably what Capcom's main strength is in games. Green herbs, they work. It was starting to look like Chad was never going to come back from his rounds, so I poked my head in there and fuck me. Next thing I know, I've got some kind of maggots squirming down my throat. I was gagging and heaving, but those little bastards didn't seem to mind none. They just wouldn't come up. I was staggering around like a madman, then I saw it. Green herb. Grandma once told me that green herbs are a natural bug deterrent, so I grabbed one, shoved it down my gob, and swallowed. And what do you know? The little things didn't want to be in there anymore. Never been so happy to throw up. I'm gonna head back and out there to look for Chad. If anyone else sees this, remember, eat your greens. So yeah, in this particular part, I think it's just a pretty big strength of Capcom's is creature design. Which, yeah, they do some pretty good stuff. And these little bastards are no exception.
Oh my God.
Like, in particular, no exception. They're probably a cooler design. Now we have something that we can examine. So go ahead and flip this open, just check what we got, which is our lockpick. So now we can open those yellow locks that are around. So now that we have that, there's a lock right here, and we can go ahead and do this. Which, Master of Unlocking. Yeah, we saw the creepy crawly on the ceiling. But these were actually in the original as well. They didn't really do the face fucking thing as much, though. But that little notice did let us know, if we happen to get that, just have a green herb. And throw up everywhere. It's fine.
Gross.
But yeah, those are drain demos. Substation internal memo. The key to the high voltage area has gone missing, and the earliest we'll be able to get a replacement in its next week. In the interim, a lockpick will be provided to the senior employee on duty. We only have one lockpick and cannot afford to lose it, so please keep it in its carrying case at all times when you're not using it. And please, could you all check just once more that you do not accidentally take the key home. If you happen to find it, please bring it to Kate and admin. But yeah, these little spider fuckers, they're called drain demos. Demos, I'm pretty sure, is like the embodiment of fear or something in Greek. So, they're disgusting little bastards that like laying parasitic eggs in your throat. Because, why not? Capcom loves their weird shit. Which is why I love their weird shit, because it is weird. But yeah, Drain Demos definitely got a little bit of an upgrade in this one. They're kind of just like Alien, which I assume was a heavy inspiration for them because of all of the Alien references in this game. Especially in like the beginning, where you can just see them everywhere. Like, they definitely had Alien posters and stuff all over the place. And they do, like, absolutely just shoving their fucking nasty-ass proboscis down your throat. So we do have to watch out for them and throw up every time they do it. But yeah, this entire section, basically just like Alien, the movie, kind of thing going on. Really weird, like it. It's probably one of the more tense areas that you get, just because of how weird the Drain demos are. They also had a kind of like alternate variant, which was the Brain Suckers. But those aren't actually in this one, so. Drain demos, though, really weird. Really like them. Fucking just odd. I should also be taking advantage of the generators more, but I keep kind of fucking up and running past them too far. Do have another little green herb right here. But yeah, that was kind of one of the problems that I had with Resident Evil 7, personally. Is just, as far as most of Capcom's games go, I think their creature design is like second to none, because they make some of the most memorable stuff, like Crimson Heads, Lickers, Hunters, Neptunes, all of this stuff. But that was kind of my main thing with Resident Evil 7, was everything was a mold monster, so it just felt really uninspired. Like, it's certainly not a bad game, still, but it just felt like they could have done a lot more. Like, a lot more. Like, whenever they have such a good track record of interesting, weird, like, creepy, overall just fucking odd designs, kind of like the demos here. Like, I find it really weird that black mold was their go-to for, like, most of the game on that one. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like I said, I think they have probably one of the best track records for monster designs, and I kind of wish they had kept it up. And I might as well get past this first before I do that. But yeah, I would have liked to see their creativity in 7 be a bit more.
Okay. All that leaves is the main power switch.
Because I know they can do it. they've shown it multiple times that they're just really good at creature designs. But 7 just didn't really inspire me that much, all things considered. Also, this kind of reminds me of that one meme game with the scary maze where it just scares you at the end with the, like, grudge girl or whatever. Actually, I think it was the exorcist girl. Might as well take some gunpowders while we're at it. I'll never get why this doesn't just auto-combine them. It's kind of weird. Not like it really matters too much, but
Carlos, it's Jill.
be nice.
I've restored power to the subway.
And all of our zombies disappeared down here.
The traffic control system. It should be in the subway company's office.
That's kind of strange.
Unfortunately, all I can tell you is that it's somewhere in the area.
You don't even know what building? That's helpful.
We already know the building, so it's not like it really matters that much. I do like their banter, too. Like, Jill and Carlos's banter is definitely pretty top-notch. More handgun ammo. Always nice. But yeah, they did a lot of good things with this game, but they also missed a lot of, like, really good opportunities. So, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's still really cool. Like, I do like the game. I'm not going to bash on it. It's just this one problem, really, is that it's kind of short. We'll just do that really quick. And I still can't dodge worth a shit. But that's a me problem, not a game problem.
Carlos! That thing is still alive! It's after me!
Now excuse me while I walk really slow to save myself.
Not until I get traffic control online.
Also forgot to grab this. Training log. July 10th, 202 pounds, 12 laps of the yard, 2 circuits. Suck it, prison. The Umbrella Corporation just recruited me for a job. A job! Don't know how they're gonna wipe out a life sentence for murdering 20 gangbangers, but whatever, I'll take it. Beat shitting away the rest of my days behind bars. I gotta get back into shape. July 26th, 196 pounds, 20-kilometer run, 3 circuits. Target practice at 400 yards, 5 misses. Caught the chain yesterday and got moved to a UBCS training camp where I fired my first bullet in 2 whole years. Missed a stationary target by 5 inches at 400 yards. I never fucking do that. It's like I forgot everything. Doesn't matter, I'll get sharp again, watch me. August 15th, 190 pounds, 30-kilometer run, 3 circuits. Target practice at 600 yards, 2 misses. Okay, I've got my shot grouping down to 3 inches. Feeling good, feeling good. After lunch, they put me through my first mock battle. The Cap and the other guys are good people, and goddamn beasts of war at that. But what the fuck is up with that lunatic Nikolai? He used me as a fucking human shield just to score some extra points. September 25th, 181 pounds, 30-kilometer run, 4 circuits. Target practice at 600 yards, no misses. Murphy's back, baby. You'll never see me miss another target. Tomorrow I go on my first mission, riot control in Raccoon City. I think Jimmy would have liked that. My brother was always the first to reach out and help people, right up until those street punks took him away from me. Now it's my turn to do some good for a change, the way I know best. So Murphy there wasn't actually that bad of a dude, he just wanted a little bit of vengeance on people that took something away from him. Which isn't really the best answer, but, you know, he did it in the way that he knew. We still have our red herb there, so I don't really need that. Pretty sure old Nimmy is gonna be on the prowl, though. So we're gonna have to be on the lookout for him.